Hi guys, welcome back to Fit Life SD TV, where we're bringing you the science of nutrition and fitness. And today we are going to be continuing on our Coach's Corner series. We're going to be breaking down how we train people, how we come up with the different ways that are going to fit into different people's life. And today we are going to be focusing on lifestyle clients. So if you don't know what that means, stay tuned and we're going to go over it with you. So with a lifestyle client, that's the category that we're gonna be breaking down today. And if you are a client or you're training yourself, or if you're a trainer, you have to have some kind of a category to fit your people into. You can be an athlete, you can be a lifestyle client, and an athlete's gonna break down into different things. You can be just a general health client. But today what we're gonna be talking about is lifestyle client. So what is a lifestyle client? A lifestyle client is gonna be your individual that works, they're busy, they have a family. So in other words, they have a lifestyle that exists outside of the gym. For people like me, my whole life is in the gym. I can't try to put my own training patterns and my own training style on them because they don't have the time, they don't have the capacity. So a lifestyle client is what you're doing is you're giving someone a way to train, a way to eat and be healthy, where they're gonna have great results, but it's not gonna be so demanding that they're gonna be having to sacrifice time from work. They're not gonna be having to sacrifice time away from their family. We're gonna give a good work balance, health balance, exercise balance. So what does a lifestyle client's training regimen look like? That's exactly what we're gonna break down. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at time that they're able to dedicate. And usually a lifestyle client, they're gonna be able to dedicate about 2, maybe 3 days per week, where someone who's athletically minded or someone who's been doing this a lot more, they might be in the gym 4 to 5 times a week, sometimes 6. But what usually discourages the lifestyle client is they're gonna feel like they have to be in the gym 4, 5, and 6 times a week, and therefore they're gonna think they're not gonna get results. So we have to really manage that for them, that they don't need to have the same training volume to have a great body transformation and have a great quality of life. So 2 to 3 days a week is a good place to start for a busy professional or someone who's just got a busy family life. And so you're gonna think, well, there's so many body parts that we gotta work. And if we do a traditional bro split like we used to do years ago, where you do 1 day for chest, 1 day for back, yeah, that's not gonna work. So what we gotta do is we gotta figure out how to work as many body parts in as few days as possible. So the first thing we have to determine is how many working sets are gonna be programmed into the week, into the workout, to make this count. Now I know I might be going a little far off the deep end, but we're gonna break it all down, make it as simple as possible. So first thing is, if you're a trainer, are you gonna track repetitions or reps completed, or are you gonna track working volume sets? I like to track volume by sets, because if you do reps, people that can do very high reps, there's gonna be a lot of them that don't count, and it could easily throw off the equation. So I like to count working sets for my volume to determine who is gonna get muscle growth, whether they're a lifestyle client or an athlete. The way that's gonna look is, if we look at the science, the data, we're gonna know per body part. So six to 12 sets per body part. That's working sets where you're getting close to failure or to failure, is gonna be sufficient to spark muscle growth. The data pretty much shows us that this is a good working volume, and for people that are advanced, that are not lifestyle clients, they're gonna probably be able to go even up to 20 and plus. But they gotta be careful, because the more volume you do, the more you have to have the proper nutrition and the recovery, and you can easily get to the point where you're overworking your body's ability to build muscle. So for a lifestyle client, we like to hang out around this number right here, keep it conservative. And if it's someone that's older, hasn't trained a lot in their life, we're gonna keep it closer, probably 6 to 8 working sets per body part. And as they advance, you have a lot of room to get growth by adding in to this number 12 over here. Now this is sets. What does this mean? If they are working their chest, you wanna have somewhere, if they're new, somewhere between 6 and 8 working sets. And that's gonna be a sum total of all exercises. So what would that look like? You could do bench press times 4 working sets. You can do incline bench times 3 sets. So just with 2 exercises, we've hit 7. So we've exceeded the bare minimum that we can count on to know we're gonna get some good muscle growth. And we still got room to grow. So the way that's gonna look with the sets, you wanna make sure that they're not really necessarily going to failure every time, because that can lead to a lot of soreness. But we pretty much understand that if you go anywhere from 3 reps in reserve all the way to failure, that's sufficient to stimulate muscle growth. So I like to keep them, if they're doing the bench press and they can do 10 sets as failure, or 10 reps as failure, I like to keep them around 8 until we get to maybe the last set. Then we'll do a burn set and really make sure that we didn't leave any gains on the table. So right away, with someone who's somewhat new to training, we've already got 7 sets programmed for chest. If chest was the only thing we're worrying about in one day, they can go home and they're gonna grow. And protein synthesis is gonna last for about 36 to 48 hours, depending on the individual. So we can count on some good growth in the chest. But again, we're only working 2-3 days. How are we gonna work the rest of the body? So this is where you can have a push-pull legs routine. Works perfectly for this type of a client. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna come over here, we have push, we have pull, and we have legs. Okay, and I know my handwriting is pretty bad, okay? So what we wanna do is, for a lifestyle client, again, they're limited on time, they wanna feel good, we're gonna borrow the training volumes from all the muscles that work together in compound movement. So if they're doing bench press and they did 6, well, let's say they did 4 flat bench, they did 3 incline bench. That's sufficient for muscular growth in the chest. They've also got indirectly some volume working on their shoulders and their triceps, because those are included in the push muscles. So we can borrow from that volume. It's not sufficient to just leave it there, but that's where we can throw in an isolated movement. So sometimes for a lifestyle client, we'll do all the push. We'll do a series of anywhere from 6 to 12 for chest. And then we'll do 1 to 2 exercises for triceps. Then we'll do maybe 1 to 2 exercise for shoulders. Okay. The way that will look is, because when we did the chest, we did get some activation on the shoulders, we did get some activation on the triceps. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do 3 sets of tricep push downs. Times 3, maybe some behind the head tricep extensions, 2 or 3. For shoulders, we can probably do an overhead press. Times 3, followed by lateral raises. I'm just giving abbreviations. Okay, times 3. So right away, what you're gonna look at is the extra volume being incorporated from the triceps and the shoulders. It's gonna very easily start to exceed the beginner's 6 to 12 rep range that we're saying is good for a lifestyle client. However, you can have a little bit more volume on those, because you got to remember that in their initial volume building phases for those smaller muscle groups, they were just aiding in the process, so they're getting some stimulus. So you have room to go a little bit overboard when you actually train them, as long as you're just not running them to the ground. And that's where you give them their own attention. And then if you do those, you've pretty much hit day 1 for lifestyle client, and they've work their shoulders, their chest, and their triceps, and they're gonna grow. They're gonna grow for 2 days that week. So now we're gonna move into pull, and we would do something similar. Pull can be very easy. Some clients don't like to work legs, some do. If they don't like to work legs, then that's where I think you should have a deadlift foundation on your pull day, because that's where you're working on your posterior chain, your back muscles. But if they have a leg day, then you could kind of do deadlifts on leg day, kind of depending on how you program it. But let's say you get one of these guys that just doesn't care about his legs. He's like an office guy and he just wants to have a good looking upper body. That's what they're paying for, and that's what they want. You're gonna give them what they want. So what we'll do in that case is we'll start with some form of a deadlift for pull day. So deadlift, You can do a trap bar deadlift. Probably for a lifestyle client, trap bar deadlifts are pretty good because the risk of injury is a lot lower and you get a lot more muscle activation. So it's kind of good for someone who's not really trying to hone in on something. However, if they want to hone in on a specific skill, there's nothing wrong with that. I've got lifestyle clients that do sumo deadlifts, they do conventional deadlifts. So you want to have a good deadlift for your back day if you're not doing a leg day. That's where I say 2 to 3 days a week. You'll get people that can only give you 2 days. So if that's the case, you'll start out with deadlift. Let's say you're going to do a deadlift times 3 working sets. Okay, so we got to remember we're getting to this number 6 to 12. And we're assuming they're somewhat new, transitioning to intermediate. So right now we got 3, that's your foundation. You're gonna be hitting some hamstrings, some calves, some glutes, but really gonna be hitting your lumbar. You're gonna be hitting some of your trapezius, upper back muscles. So you're already starting to get a general stimulus for the pull. Then what I would do is I would do like a upper pull times 3. That could be a pull up. That could be a lat pull down. You're gonna do that for 3 sets. Again, getting close to failure or to failure on the last set. And this is not like follow it every time exactly like this is just general guidelines. You're gonna have times where you might take every set to failure, but not every time. Just general guideline, get close to failure last set, maybe go all the way to failure, then maybe just pick a lower pull. Movement times 3. So that can be either like, you could do whether you pull with the landmine station, you can do a seated cable row, something that's gonna kind of hit the back the same but from a different angle. And one rule of thumb I like to do is if we're doing an upper pull movement with a close grip, then I like to do the lower pull movement with a wide grip and vice versa. Because what that's gonna do is gonna incorporate more of the teres major minor or more of the lat and not the other ones. Sometimes it might incorporate a little bit more rhomboid. So kind of giving it a mix up for a season is a good way to do that too. And you don't have to do it all in one training session. You can have a client train for 4 weeks with a wide upper and a lower narrow grip, and then for 4 weeks vice versa, so that you're kind of mixing it up but you're staying consistent at the same time. So right now what we're looking at is we got 9 cumulative sets. So we're good. Where a lot of times you'll take someone new and you'll think you didn't hit it enough and you could really run them to the ground and really make them soar beyond the point of reason. But if we trust the science, we can get someone in and out, get them a really good workout, get a good body transformation, and they're gonna grow just fine and not suffer too much. So now that we got most of the back out of the way, for accessory work, you could throw in maybe a pullover exercise, maybe to isolate the lat a little bit better, but for the most part, lifestyle client, they're gonna grow fine with this. A lot of people are gonna say, that's not enough volume, but we have a lot of experience seeing people do exercises just like this, workouts just like this, and getting very good results. So what about the rest of the pull? We still got the biceps, so this is very easy. Your biceps were involved in most of these pulling exercises. It's not really gonna be involved a lot in your deadlifts, but in your upper and your lower pulls, your biceps are definitely getting activated. So at this point, we just wanna have enough dedicated volume for the biceps to hit the long head, the small head, or the short head, and maybe some forearms. So what I like to do, unless you have a client that's having lagging arms and you have to have more volume for the arms on a separate day, that's a topic for another day, but assuming they're growing just fine with a push-pull split, what I would do is just to round it out, make sure their biceps are getting hit, I would just do like maybe a wide style type curl. And the reason why I like to do that, say you're holding the bar or you're holding the dumbbells and you're even right here, you're gonna hit the long head and the short head of the bicep pretty much equally. And then so you can do that. You could do times 1 to 2, and this is where you can go to failure, because at this point they're pretty exhausted. You're just trying to get a good stimulus going for something we've already been building on. So I would say to round out the biceps, you could do 1 to 2 sets of a wide style curl, and then maybe just 1 of an inner style curl times 1. You're gonna go to failure, and that's gonna be kind of like if you take a dumbbell and you kind of keep your hands together and you go towards the ceiling like this, or you just do the inner position of an easy curl bar. That's going to hit more of the short head of the bicep. It's a smaller muscle, so just one set to complete failure would be sufficient. And then we want to make sure we're not neglecting the forearms. So what I like to do is one set of hammer curls to failure. One set. And then to make sure you get the rest of the forearm, you want to make sure you get your extensors built up good. That tends to be a weak point, especially in older clients. I start to notice they get a lot of pain in here. A lot of times it's tendons that they ignored, building muscles up around, but not really getting it. So I like to go very light on a reverse curl, maybe like 20 plus reps. All the way to failure, and that's gonna look like this, and that's pretty much gonna do some kind of rehab on anything that's hurt or build it up so that it's gonna be stronger and give you some nice forearms. What I call with my clients, a lot of times they want to just do a lot of curls, but I say we got to make sure we focus on the forearms because we don't want reverse Popeye syndrome, meaning Popeye had big forearms and small biceps. I tell them we want to make sure that we don't have big biceps and small forearms. So we want everything to be balanced. Muscles that are not balanced lead to greater injury risk. So we want to make sure we're balancing even those smaller muscles. But right here with everything we talked about, this is just day 2. That's a lifestyle client. We can get into legs, but this just give you an overall general thing we would do. We do something similar for legs, but for the most part, 2 to 3 days a week, busy lifestyle client. They got a lot going on. If you were to give them a workout like this week in, week out, and you tailor their nutrition, they will have phenomenal results, and they will be able to tell their friends, family, work colleagues how good of a transformation they had with very little time in the gym. We're talking 3 hours in the gym at the most, 2 to 3 hours to really change their body. So I hope that sheds a little bit of light on what might be going on in the mind of your trainer, or maybe what should be going on in the mind of your trainer. We can't be cookie cutter, and I just don't believe in just burning people out until there's nothing left. I believe in just systematically getting through it. When we're done, a lot of times I say that's it, there's nothing else, you'll just be sore for no reason. So then we go home, and week after week we do get results. So if you have any questions on how to properly program this, just shoot us a message. Make sure if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe, and we're going to give you more breakdowns on different client training types in the future.